That's what cricket's about, kid.
G'day, cheeky dogs. My name is Aussie Galmagi.
And my name is Pugly.
And thank you for coming to our podcast today, the Beyond Bluey Podcast. We are doing a deep dive into the episode Cricket and basically why it is the number one episode. Technically, I guess we could say.
Yeah, because the Bluey Fest, the 100 episodes, said it, like, hey, it's officially the number one ranked episode in almost the world, even though it's kind of supposed to be a ranking of Australia. But like other participants participated as well.
Yeah, and it also technically is number one on IMDb as well. It's got the exact same rating as Sleepy Time now.
Oh, so I didn't know that.
Yeah, someone did a video about it. Actually, it popped up on like my For You page on YouTube. But yeah, I saw that they apparently now have like the exact same rating. I'm not sure how I feel about that either. Like, I don't know. I think they're both obviously masterpieces. But okay, in the comment section, guys, let me know. I'm just gonna say big hey to everyone. Yeah, which one do you think's better, Sleepy Time or Cricket? Because I'm really curious about it. Because I feel like obviously Sleepy Time is amazing, but Cricket is also a masterpiece too.
It kind of sounds, when the way you're presenting it kind of makes it sound like you like Sleepy Time more. Is that how you feel?
Possibly.
I don't blame you. I mean, it's really good.
I know. I'm just looking over in this comment section now. Oh, we've got kind of like a mix here. Sleepy Time, Cricket. Here we go.
It is a pretty good mix, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to throw some of you guys up on the screen there. It does. Oh, yeah. It's almost like a solid... It seems like it's a solid mix,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's incredible. That's great. I love that.
I think that's one of the things though. I feel like each season should have like its like standout episode, and obviously like season 3 so far is Cricket.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I love this as well. Fairy Tale.
Fairy Tales is good, but what I was saying is, of course, when Sign comes out, that's gonna be like, I wouldn't even consider it a season 3 episode. It's so different. It's gonna be like a completely different category.
That's what I mean. It's basically a movie. It's 28-minute special. Like what Ghost Basket and Surprise are fun episodes, but they have more like amazing endings. Not like amazing all the way through the episode like Cricket is. But okay, we're talking about 3 other episodes here. Let's get back to Cricket though. Let's get back to Cricket. Someone asked us, what is the season 1 camping? I mean,
camping is like the most outlier, like the most like, oh my god, that's like the like a most emotionally impactful. But I mean, like I'm a weird person. I like Daddy Robot the most.
Daddy Robot is a good one. All right. Let's get into Cricket. So we're going to start off with this one first.
He play all day with his brother and sister.
Can you hit me a cat? Not yet, Dusty. I'm almost at 50. Yeah.
So, guys, let's talk Cricket. Let's talk Rusty's house and his family intro. So, Pugly, what would you say? Who is your favorite new member of Rusty's family?
Oh my god. Gosh, I mean, it has to be Dusty. Dusty is such a cute little squirt. I love characters that are like Bingo's age and size. They're all like so sweet. And, like Muffin's sweet too, but she's a different breed. Quite literally on that point. But anyways, like everyone's so like sweet at that age, and I don't know. Dusty's just, I don't know. She just like has this little cute like ball like chest mark, and like her design is so cute with her hair. She kind of resembles her mom because of her hair. I don't know, she's just a very cute character in general. It looks like she cut out. She froze. Hold on. One moment. Just messaging her that she froze. Oh, she's coming back.
We're back. Hi guys. Sorry, I just wanted to go on a quick hiatus. I don't know what happened. It just said like my audio cut out.
No, you're good. When I said about her hair, your screen froze when you go. So I was like, what did I say?
What I was gonna say though is something really cool about Dusty is the fact that with red kelpies they always start with their ears bent over, and as they get older their ears pop up. So all of Rusty's family, all their ears are popped up except for Dusty because she's the youngest, so she's still got one ear like working its way up, which is why it's folded over. It's like a fun little like Dusty fact. Yeah, I remember someone had mentioned that in my comments. Yeah, it was really cool, and I ended up looking it up. I was like, oh, that's so like. again, the details that the animators do is just so fantastic. Like, they're just so true to like the dogs themselves, and like just adding in these little things. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And this is like the first time we ever see Rusty's family and Rusty's house in general. I mean, like we kind of see like Rusty's mom like real quick. She's like, "Hey, I'm here to pick you up," and then it's like we see like his back of the head of his father in the episode Army. But like because of the fact that this is like the first time we see them, it's like absolutely mind blowing. And I think that might be a big reason why this episode might be such a fan favorite, because whenever we get an expansion of a side character, people go crazy in fandom. So I think this is a big reason why this episode might have some more favor than other episodes.
Yeah, I agree. I'm curious actually, for everyone in the comments section, what do you think? Like, do you like the idea when they expand the Bluey verse as well? Because I know I definitely like the idea of like seeing more of the different dynamics in different families, and like this is the first time that we see like a three child family, really, aside from like the terriers, but we don't really know a lot about them. But they're triplets, they're all the same age. This is the first time we're seeing like actual dynamics, and with like a teenage brother as well, which was like Digger was like I think the big surprise, because we all found out about Dusty because of the Amazon leak. It's always, guys, toys and books, they always are the reason that things get like leaked ahead of time, because all this stuff has to be made ahead of time. But yeah, Digger was the surprise for me.
Oh yeah, Digger. I love Digger in general. I mean, we could go about like his reference of his name being an Army reference, and that's just such a nice little thing. But I want to expand more on Digger when we get to that part. But yeah, Digger's a really cool character, you know?
He is. So I guess the other thing, of course, is talking about Rusty's house. So guys in the comments, let me know what you think of Rusty's house compared to Bluey's house. But we do have like a little clip here.
We didn't know about Rusty's kitchen.
Uh-oh! Run!
Hey, come back here!
Oh my God.
I love that scene so much. Like, it's so reminiscent of me, of like Nana in Fairy Tale when like she's chasing them about like the mini serials. Like, I absolutely love that. And someone here is like basically figured out like the Digger meaning in that. But also guys in the live chat, please like appropriate questions, appropriate chat, things like that as well, because we have people of all ages in it. I just saw someone mention that, so I would like to also mention that as well.
That's awesome.
But someone here is like, they love Rusty's house, it's so Aussie. What did you think of the house? Because obviously I knew what it was when I saw it straight away, because I'm from Queensland. But what did you think, Pugly?
And that's so funny, because like when I put my original thought process on what I thought Rusty's house was supposed to represent, I since I've never like lived or like know that much about Australian culture besides the exposure I've seen from Bluey and maybe pop culture, I don't really know anything about their houses. So the first time I saw it, I actually kind of thought it was like more or less supposed to represent like a more less income house, and I thought that was really cool because it's a single mom, besides like the military stuff, and I'm a bit ignorant how the military funds work exactly for families, but anyways, the house, it looks a little bit battered sometimes, and that can kind of like make me think like, oh, it might be like a poor family house, but as Aussie Girl's about to explain, it's actually a bit different than what I thought.
Like this is like basically what I could find is like a similar home in the same style, from good old realestate.com.au. But yeah, these are like the post-war homes. Like they are like these very like 1920s style home, which is what they decided to give Rusty and his family, which I think is really cool. Like it's just such a nice little detail. I just saw someone in the comments as well mentioning about the AC unit, which again is also like having that big like window AC unit and you see it outside is obviously like a much older version of like the more common AC units in Australia, which are just like those indoor ones. So again, it just really lends it to the fact that like, yeah, Rusty's family is in a very different style of home compared to Bluey and Mackenzie and Chloe.
I think it's really interesting because like it's like you mentioned the AC units are more older. Is there central air in Australia actually? Just out of curiosity?
No. We don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had no idea what that was until we moved here, and I was just like, "What? Like, what is this? Like, I don't understand why I can't control each individual room. This is really frustrating." So yeah, that was actually quite funny for me. That was something different. I've got a good picture here as well, actually, of the like different styles of houses, and their costs pre 2020, basically, before everything like went out the window. But yeah, so you can sort of see like. Rusty's house there is very much like the cheapest house. And then we've got like Mackenzie's house and then Muffin's and then the Queenslanders as well. Like they're also slightly different. Muffin's house and Chloe's house would both be about the same cost, I think. Both over like that $1 million.
Right, yeah, and it doesn't surprise me that Stripe's house is the most expensive. Yeah, they got a lot of utilities, to put it simply.
They definitely do. Yeah, their house is massive. Facey Talk just made me be like, what is going on in their house? A lot of people here sort of think like, yeah, Chloe's house is a very modern house.
Oh,
Her dad, I feel like her dad's an architect, just like in 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah, I think that's a clever reference. I didn't even think about that particular reference being architect, but I see the architect table. But usually, whenever I watch an episode, it always catches my eye, I should say.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think I love like that they showed all those different style of houses. I think that was just something like really, really cool for them to do. But yeah. So I guess we can then go on to maybe what your favorite thing is going to be, and that is Jack.
What we didn't know was that when Rusty's dad was away, he'd get a lift home with his mate Jack. And this was his front yard.
Okay, so Jack's house is extremely exciting. Well, Jack being in the episode is exciting overall because before this episode came out, we actually got some concept art that I'm going to be presenting on the screen in just a bit. That was actually leaked on Twitter by an artist that, removed it literally a day after it was posted. But basically, Jack's house was a big surprise to be leaked. And I was like, oh my God, when are they going to show that? Are we going to see more of Jack's family? And it's like, we don't necessarily see like more of Jack's family in this episode. We see mainly Jack. I mean, we get like the mom picking him up, we never see the mom pick him up besides this episode, which is I always found weird. But I guess the car scene, which we'll get to. But I think it's really sweet that we get it's the first time we see Jack's house in this episode because it's the first time we see Rusty and Jack hanging out of school. It like kind of really solidifies their friendship out of school, which is a big win for the people who love Jack and Rusty. I mean, we technically do see them outside in the episode Curry Quest together running in the background.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you could present that concept art that I should be showing here. But yeah, so you can see here, this was the original concept art. So it doesn't have the car in the actual episode in the background for some reason, but we can just see that it's just, what we saw in the episode, Rusty's house with the makeshift cricket as well as, I guess the wickets, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that they had like the Moreton Bay like fig tree like in the front yard with like all the roots coming up because that's like so typical. And like even their home again is like a different style home. It's like more of like a brick cottage, so it's like very like 60s style houses in Australia, or like at least in Queensland. So like there's that little bit to it, and I do love that like you can sort of almost see the car number plate, which from memory says
oh my God, I don't know.
I think it does say Jack Russell on it, but I think it's brown. Like the numbers on it correlate to the color code for brown, and then it's Russell. So they're brown Jack Russells, not the black Jack Russells. So that's
the hex code. I do actually know that the license plate. I'm going to get rid of the house because I think it's fine now. But basically, I think it's like a Victorian license plate. Like it's not actually, it's like another region of
Australia. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
So we go like Queensland, which is where Brisbane is, and then New South Wales, which is where Sydney is, and then Victoria, which their capital city is Melbourne. So it's very much like when his dad says like we're not from around here, and like that also leans into the fact of like why Jack changed schools because obviously they moved states. So like that's sort of like all like that in-depth stuff and everything. But yeah, I do love that we get to see Rusty and Jack's relationship in this episode again. And the fact that it spans over a year, I found that really interesting. Like they decided to make a whole year time jump basically of like showing their friendship and how often they've hung out outside of school and everything like that. I really love that.
And of course, sorry, go.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm just throwing up some of these comments. I see them. Definitely a professional cricket player. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. We'll get to that. That's such an exciting point. But, of course, also in the car, we also see, like, another hint towards, like, the near developmental representation of Jack with either having ADHD or autism, whatever you want to say. But, like, basically, if there's a fidget popper in the car that should be coming up on screen here in a few moments. But I think it's really sweet that they include another detail in the show besides him kicking his feet, which might be another fidgeting habit as well. But I think it's so sweet that we see like another moment of Jack saying like, hey, this is another instance of like a hint towards that representation, which I always found to be so freaking cool.
I didn't even notice that his feet were kicking that whole time. That is like, I know, I can't remember who did the interview. Someone did, I think it might have been the episode Cubby behind Bluey Podcast. But one of the animators talked about the fact that like they really make an effort to put in like, there's one animator in particular who puts in all these extra little details where like the kids like will randomly like touch a parent's hand, or like they'll do like just little fidgety things, like these extra things to make them feel more real and not just like a static object. And like that absolutely for me, like showing Jack's feet swinging side to side again is like another representation of ADHD, like, and his whole like story arc, I guess, in Bluey. I love that.
Yeah, it's so sweet. And I think another point that's really cool about this is that it kind of shows like the magic of cricket, I suppose. It just shows like that you can kind of just play cricket anywhere, because Jack's cricket setup is really just like a literal cardboard box and like a random sticks from a tree. And I think it's really sweet that like we get that like we get like another showcase of that, I guess, with beach cricket later. But I think it's really sweet to show like the sport can be like played anywhere, and anybody can have fun at any time with it.
Yeah, I wonder if I can bring up the picture, but I talked about it in my Rusty cricket video that I dropped on Friday. But the fact that like Rusty's obviously very much modeled over Donald Bradman, but Donald Bradman, how he practiced was literally, he didn't even have a cricket bat. He used a stick. He used a stick and a ball. Oh, I don't think I've got the picture of it. But that's literally how he practiced, was just like throwing the ball at the hot water tank and then hitting it with like a really thin stick. And so then they like, there's like this documentary from back in the day about it. And they said like, you know, by the time he switched to an actual cricket bat, he must have just thought this is so easy because it's so much wider, obviously, than a stick.
Wow.
But, yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah. And I guess we kind of almost get that with Rusty, because he plays near a water tank against the house, like hitting it like in the same exact spot, which is super cool.
Yeah. So I love that they sort of like did that part on it. All right, so in that case then, we'll go on to our next part with Digger.
Sometimes Rusty would play with his older brother's mates, one of them being this kid Tiny, who could bowl really fast. Got him! But he was never brave enough to bat.
Alrighty, so Tiny. I love Tiny. I think he's just such a cool character. And did I put it up in here? I think I did. I wanted to show you guys as well. Here we go. So this is from Alice Walsh, one of the animators in Bluey. So I know for ages people were wondering what kind of breed Tiny was, and there was like a lot of speculation. So the white mark over his nose is zinc. So it's just like white zinc, like a zinc when you're out in the sun. So that's why he's got that marking. But yeah, he is Dane. Initially they were going to make him a boar's eye, but they decided on a Great Dane instead because Joe Brum hadn't heard of a boar's eye before. And then, of course, like, obviously the name works really well, like Tiny, Great Dane. But Tiny C, like, what does the C stand for?
Oh, my God. Cricket. I don't know.
Like, that was, I kind of thought as well. Everyone in the comment section here, any idea of, like, what on earth what the C could mean? Because I was like, is it, like, another play on, like, him being tiny and Great Dane, or is it a play on cricket?
I don't know. I mean, like the tiny part, he's like a pretty tall kid. I don't know if he's actually taller than like every other kid. We don't see like him like standing next to another person actually ever.
Oh no, well, I guess we don't know because he's a teenager, but like that's meant to be his size difference compared to Bluey.
Oh, I mean, I guess. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry.
Yeah. But then they're like, that looks like the same height as Bandit, though, as well. So I'm like,
yeah, actually, I guess so. Oh my gosh. I wish I had something to like show it on a screen, like size comparison. That's so cool. Yeah, it probably is the same size as Bandit now I think about it. So yeah, he'd be taller than me and Captain and Digger and stuff.
Yeah. It looks like everyone's sort of like on the consensus that C stands for cricket. Like, yeah.
I think because I just spouted that out. It has to be something more clever. Come on.
I'd hope so. And then, someone here is saying that, he's around like the same age as Captain Amir. I do love that we got to see Captain Amir again in the background here. Like, that they're friends as well with like Rusty's brother. Like I know, I love again that world building. We got to see more new characters, more teenagers. I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, and I would love more episodes that show more of the teens, because whenever the teens are on there, it's like really intriguing to me for some reason, because they have like a chance to explore different like dynamics of life, because like Barky Boats, we see the transitioning of like one school to another, or like one grade to another, and like kind of more or less like leaving some friends behind, and like the scary aspect of that. And like we don't get to explore a lot of those like older topics, and I would love to see like more episodes with the teens and stuff. So I thought this episode was really exciting.
I think that'll be something that like I have no doubt that Bluey is obviously going to continue on past season 3. It is way too popular for it to be stopping anytime soon. They're creating like a whole Bluey amusement park in Brisbane as well. We have the Olympics in, I can't remember how many years, but the Olympics are going to be in Brisbane eventually. So I feel like Bluey's going to be like a mini mascot for that as well. And it makes too much money. It's making way too much money for it to stop. Like at the end of the day, that's realistically a major reason why shows continue and don't continue is like the merchandising side. And I've talked about this before. Bluey makes so much money from merchandising. There is no way that BBC would be like, oh, you can just stop at 3 seasons. Like, come on. These are like the people who run Peppa Pig, as if they're going to let Bluey stop. But I do think that means, because Joe obviously writes a lot of stories based on his interactions with his girls. So as his girls get older, I'm wondering if we're going to see some more of those type of storylines that like going into like those preteen storylines. And I mean, like they've aged them up in the show already. So I wouldn't be surprised if I think that'd be something really unique if they do continue to age them up and don't do the Simpsons route where everyone stays the same age all the time. I would like to see like the Rugrats all grown up kind of transition phase kind of thing.
Yeah. And, that's so interesting. I've never really quite thought about like that prospect of it. I've always like kind of been more in the ballpark of being like, oh yeah, they're always going to stay the same age. But like, yeah, you're right, because I guess because Joe Brum's daughter's experience is a major key factor in the Bluey. So I definitely could see them getting older. I mean, we've already seen them like age up 1 year, which doesn't make that much of a difference. But like, yeah, I could totally see that. That'd be really, really freaking cool.
I would absolutely. Cheeky Dogs, let us know in the comment sections here. Would you guys like to see more teen-based stories in Bluey, or at least like a transition into that? Like obviously they could do like a spin-off series focused on like Mia and Captain and Digger. Like that would be really cool, but I'm not sure if they'd want to. I don't know, I guess like Paw Patrol does that, don't they? Like they've got like the whole like extra little like Rubble series going on, and they also like upgraded into like Super Pup. So I'm thinking Paw Patrol because I'm like looking at a Paw Patrol book right now. I'm like, oh yeah, Paw Patrol kind of did that. So I mean, I guess Bluey could maybe do like a spin-off series at the same time. I'm just wondering if that would like take some of like if it would dilute the brand too much, or if it would work.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know how to feel about this. It's such an interesting topic. I feel like I need more time to think about that. But I know,
like, a lot of people in the comments here are like really keen to see more of the teen stories.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see more teen stories, but like, I wouldn't mind just having like 1 or 2 episodes just focusing more on like the teens, or maybe even just like being like, this episode of Bluey is called Growing Up, and it's like it suddenly transitions to them being like 12, and that's a whole story of them just being 12. Like for 1 episode, Bluey and Bingo. That'd be really cool, actually.
Yeah, that is someone brought up.
No, they wouldn't. Bluey voice, yeah.
But they wouldn't have to change the Bluey voice because she'd be aging up with Bluey. So they could still keep all the actual like voice actors, and they would just be aging up with their characters, and like that would like fix the aging up issue. Maybe that's why there's such a big break between season 3 and season 4. Is that they're like gonna really age them up.
Yeah, that's really fun to speculate on that type of stuff. Oh my god, there's just so much to talk about with Bluey every single time.
I'm so curious now, because like there's a very big gap between season 3 and 4, which I think is why like they sporadically. I don't know, if you don't follow the animators over on Instagram, none of them are working at Ludo Studios right now. Like they haven't been working there since April last year, 2022. April 2022 is when a lot of the animators stopped working at Ludo. So it's almost going to be 2 years that none of them have been working on Bluey. And like, I know there was like that article a while where Daily Pearson was like, oh yeah, we're just having like a little break. 2 years is a long time for a little break. Like
it is.
I know. And I just saw that like Geoff Bush has just started working on some more music again. And I also saw that like there's a couple of the other musicians who work with them, like they started posting on their Instagram stories that they're working on music together at like the Bluey studio. So like they're working on stuff, which is cool. But at the same time, I'm like, that could be for any of the other separate projects that's going on. But yeah, all the animators, like they're not working. None of them are working right now. So yeah, we're not getting Bluey season 4 anytime soon.
And it's funny that you mentioned that, is because like sometimes they'll like mention like, oh my god, we're gonna have this like really cool surprise, and then it's like extended intro, and it's like, what do you mean? I wanted more.
Yeah, everyone's just like, this is not what I was asking for.
But it's all sweet, it's all amazing, no matter what they make. So I just love the culture around it, like the cool stuff. Like there's like thousands of different creators that are like making cool stuff, like those window shops, like Christmas. Like oh my god, there's just so many cool things. And that Bluey Land that you're talking about earlier.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's we've talked about our teens in Bluey, so let's pull it back into cricket. So let's have a bit of a chat then about like Rusty's dad's letter, as well as like the beach cricket stuff as well.
Rusty would have played 50 more.
What a shot! That's it, Rusty.
He just loved cricket.
So let's do beach cricket first, because like we can just talk about that a little bit, and then we'll do the letters section as well. Have you ever played beach cricket?
Okay. I've never played cricket. So in general, I don't know if there's any place I can go to play cricket besides like I guess my own place, like maybe like how Jack has it. But like I don't really know much of the rules. Like there was like a international cricket like championship at one point, and like Google had like this fun game you could play that kind of taught me how cricket was played, but it was very rudimentary. So I don't really know that much about cricket actually, besides this.
It's quite funny because like where I live, like there's a big like Nike has a big office here, and I was driving past it the other day, and there was a bunch of people outside playing cricket, and it was like definitely they were either like Sri Lankan or Indian, which again is like one of the other places where cricket is insanely popular. And Tiny's voice is a Sri Lankan voice actor, which is really cool. But I saw them playing cricket, I was like, oh, cricket, yay! And then I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, obviously a lot of like expats would be playing cricket in America because like especially it's a big part of our culture. So I mean, if you ever want to play it, you just gotta maybe just give it a Facebook, Google, or something like that.
I mean, like I've definitely been more intrigued about cricket after this episode, I will admit. And I think the beach cricket scene is very interesting to me because this isn't like the first time we see a beach cricket setup. In season 1, we actually see in the episode Beach like a cricket setup while Bluey's walking past. And I've seen people speculate like, oh, what if this is like Rusty's family that like played there at one point, which would be a cool extension of the universe, like to kind of show in the past, like because it's a flashback scene in that particular episode. In cricket, it's a flashback scene of beach cricket. So I mean that's always possible, but I think it's just like sweet to show like the culture in general, I suppose, just can play cricket wherever. And apparently beach cricket is a very popular thing, especially around the holidays, you said.
Yes. So especially like obviously in summer, I mean, we're at the beach a lot of the year because the weather usually is pretty good. But Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, is like the big beach day. Like a lot of people go down to the beach because everyone's gotten like obviously like water-based gifts usually for Christmas. So especially if you're kids, like you get new swimsuits, new goggles, boogie boards, things like that, beach cricket set. So then the next day for Boxing Day, it's a public holiday, so everyone will go down to the beach to use all of those Christmas gifts. And like you have fish and chips for lunch, so that's like a really big part of it. And even like the Bluey Christmas window display at Myers, like they had like the next day was like the beach cricket day, or that afternoon was them going down to play beach cricket, which I thought was really cool. And they had like Lucky's dad there, like throwing the ball as well. I loved it. Someone here is just like the beach.
I love that title card. It's called the beach.
It's so good. But for me, I love beach cricket, but I hate cricket. I hate regular cricket. This episode is beautiful, but watching cricket in real life, unless like you're into it, God, it's boring. Oh, it's so mind-numbingly boring. Oh, I hate it. But then, like, that's something I think I really liked about this episode as well, is it very much kind of showed the male versus female aspects of cricket. So cricket's always been, like, a guy's sport in Australia, and I'm assuming in other countries as well. But it's always been very, like, male sport, male-dominated. Boys play cricket, girls play netball. Like, that's always been the division basically. So it was cricket was just like never really an option for me to play as a kid, like, which is why I was never into it. But like every boy I knew played cricket, like they all played it. But like my dad never played cricket with me, or like my cousins who were boys, like we never played cricket together. Like it was always a boy sport. And I think like that's why this episode also has resonated with a lot of guys in Australia, because a lot of them like grew up like having these same feelings that Rusty did and being in these same situations. And I think seeing how bad Bluey and Bingo play cricket at the start is just so accurate, because it's like, when would they have played cricket? Like they're not playing it otherwise. Like they're only doing it because like they're all there at the park and there happens to be like the cricket thing there. But yeah, so I do like that Bluey's dad was trying to kind of teach Bluey, or like Bluey made that comment of like, cricket's boring, why are we playing it kind of thing, let's go play Tiggy. And her dad was trying to explain why cricket is like so much more than that, and like the whole like hero's journey through it basically. I don't know if he actually really convinced Bluey in the end, but but yeah, someone just put it here, yeah, when Bandit and Stripe were like, let's watch the cricket in Horsey Ride, and the girl's like, no, let's play a wedding.
Oh my god. And I love that part, because like Stripe eventually escapes in the horsey ride, and you can hear the TV turn on, and Blue runs in, and he's like, he's watching the cricket.
Crack that it up. So yeah, so I definitely feel like Joe Brown probably pulls on a lot of that, of like, yeah, those aspects when we were growing up, that it was very boys. But someone here put up a really good thing though as well. Women's cricket is becoming more of a thing, and like I think in general Australia has really started to push more like women's sports being the same as men's sports, like showing, so like we have more women's rugby now on television, because before it was very much like women's was like tennis, netball, swimming, and that was kind of it really. So there is definitely a lot more now with like women's basketball, women's hockey as well, obviously is a very girl sport technically, which is why we see Chile like playing hockey all the time. So it was interesting how the sports are kind of like gendered in Australia, and like there's definitely a push now for them to not be as gendered, which I think is very
really
cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I want to talk about like Rusty's dad's letter. I really love it, because like I love seeing like,
I'll put the clip on.
Mom, there's a letter from Dad.
Yeah, that was all I had. There's a letter from Dad.
Yeah, I love how Rusty is like Rusty's like whole world almost centers around his dad a lot, and like the whole family in general is like a very military family, of course, and like he doesn't get to see his dad as often as like other people get to see their parents. So like when he gets like a little moment to, I guess, appreciate his dad's presence, even if it's just like a letter, it's like all very sentimental for him. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like something I can like resonate or like talk with like my dad in a way. It's like really sweet. And like I love how his face lights up in the episode. I'm gonna pull it up, but his like he gets like really motivated in this episode due to the words that are said in Rusty's dad's letter. So if you pull up the clip here,
Christmas up north was hot. You should try over here. It is boiling. I'll see you all soon.
Her hand
Miss
on
you
Dusty.
heaps, Dad.
And Rusty's face lights up, and it's like, because he just said, see you all soon, love Dad. And it's like, oh my god, it's so sweet, because Rusty's like, oh my god, I should get to see my dad soon. It's just so wholesome. I just love this episode so much.
Yeah, I think that's, again, it's like those small little details that we see, like the mum rubbing her hand up and down on Dusty and her smiling, and then Rusty looking away, and even Digger like with his hand on his hip being like, like I absolutely loved it. Like I think it was just so, again, the details in that scene and like that letter was really sweet. And I didn't realize as well, so Anthony Field, or the Blue Wiggle, who voices Rusty's dad, so he did this interview, and I put it in my last Rusty video as well because I thought it was so interesting. He talks about how often he was away from his family and how much of his daughters' lives that like he just missed out on completely, because he was always away touring almost 9 months of the year with the Wiggles, like in the US and over in the UK and Europe. And so he missed out on so much of their lives all the time growing up. And he talks about like, that's like one of his big regrets, is that he missed out because he was always away. And I was like, oh, that kind of like ties in nicely with like obviously Rusty's dad being away a lot as well. And then obviously the fact that both Anthony and Rusty, like Anthony Wiggle, he used to be in the army as well. So there's like that tie in. So yeah, so I think that's really, really sweet.
And yeah, it's like Rusty gets like really motivated by Rusty's dad, like eventually, because like I guess we'll get oh my gosh, I guess we didn't get to the part where Tiny gets hits Rusty. I guess that's like directly after. Was it directly after Rusty's dead letter? I don't quite remember. Yeah, it was directly after Rusty's dead letter. So basically, like right after he gets hit and he's like limping towards the house, which I didn't get to show. I'm going to be showing here, but like we could kind of see like how like Digger's like really concerned for Rusty and just stares at Rusty, being like, "Hey, I'm going to let you walk on your own." Because like I'm the bigger brother, I guess, but I still really care about you. And I love how he just looks back at him. I'm gonna like replay that little part right there. It just I think it's really sweet in general.
It reminds me of like we do have the clip of like the getting hit one. Even there, he's just like, "Oh, mate." Like, yeah, I think Digger's like way of showing compassion is very different, obviously, to like other ways we've seen in Bluey. Like he's got very much like a tough love kind of thing going on, but like he does obviously still care for Rusty, which I really like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like it's I don't know how to where to segment from this, but I just really want to say like Rusty's dad is like the letter is just so sweet. It like really motivates Rusty to like persevere past that point and then eventually hit the ball and off the field, like I guess build up his courage, like perseverance. Like the entire episode is like almost about perseverance and being like, oh my gosh, I can't like do this one particular thing, but I'm still gonna like do what I can in my particular situation to improve myself. And that's what Rusty's entire journey is about, perseverance. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's like it's very much like perseverance and I'm trying to think of the other word. Another word for caring, but like basically it kind of brings us into that whole idea of like Rusty and Dusty in the end. It's like it's not just about winning, but it's about like encouraging others. Yeah, maybe that's the thing. Like Rusty's dad encourages him to be better, and then Rusty is in turn encouraging Dusty to get better as well. So I feel like that's a really like beautiful, beautiful little part.
And Rusty could have smashed it into next week if he wanted to. But instead,
I got it!
That music, man.
Moment. Yeah, that music is absolutely incredible. The swelling of that is like one of the like I love whenever Bluey does swells. I literally can't help myself but talk about it on every single video because they do it like all the time and they do it so good. Like the crescendos, the swells, all of it. But there's actually someone in the community that made a cover for this that I really want to showcase because their cover for this is amazing. Their name is Buzzbane, and they make amazing covers for a bunch of different Bluey episodes. So I just really wanted to like celebrate the community and showcase this amazing cover by him. And encourage you guys to check it out.
We did get permission from him as well, so I just wanted to make sure we put that out there. And also because it is a cover of the song, it does fall under copyright disclaimer as well, because it is a cover of this beautiful music. Throwing all those disclaimers out there. Did you want me to throw it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the chat for you guys to check out the original post because my version is edited to avoid copyright, but his version I think encapsulates his vision a little bit more.
Okay, all right, I'll throw it on the screen now for us to all to like enjoy a little bit. That was so good. Oh my gosh. Like
Oh
that
my
ending
gosh.
part as well. Like it just makes me really think that like I would love to go and listen to like like you know how you can listen to like soundtrack concerts like in person, like with orchestras and things like that. They've done it for like a bunch of famous TV shows. I would do that for Bluey in a heartbeat. Like
Oh
that was
my
just like
god.
so beautiful. I love it. Someone who is like, everyone clap. Yes, everybody clap. That was beautiful. That's one of the
Yeah.
coolest things about like the Bluey community is like there's so many talented people out there who are artists and musicians and things like that. And like it's just so cool.
Mhm.
Absolutely,
And,
yeah.
and real quick, someone said, did they make more? Yeah, they make a bunch of them. They made for he's an artist as well as like a musicianist, so he has a bunch of cool music covers as well as art. But you can check out like his cover of like onesies as well, which is pinned on his channel. They're all really beautiful. Just check them out. I posted a link there. Remember, it's Buzzbane, BUZZBANE. So just search on Twitter. You can find him. He's amazing.
I haven't seen this one for onesies, and that's why I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I'll be able to deal with the onesies one. Like that one's always like a big thing. Okay, so let's jump on to some of our last little things. So we're going to talk about the flash forward scene. We're going to talk about our favorite Easter eggs, and then we're going to do a Q&A with you guys as well. So of course, we have like the very famous like flash forward scene here. I just like
so
dancing
good.
already to the music again.
It's
So good. But yeah, how surprised were you with this flash forward scene?
Oh my god. So as for some people who don't know, I originally watched this episode for the first time with Azigo Margi, like my first reaction. You guys can see it on our channel. On her channel. I think it's only on her channel. But yeah,
before we knew how to do this.
Yeah. But my god, when I saw that, I honestly was like, what the heck? And then you mentioned, oh my god, it's his future self. And I'm like, oh my god. Like I
think that's a
thought
big
it was
thing.
like a brother at first or something. And I was like, what is this? Why is this happening? I was like, is this his dad? Is he a cricket player? I was like, no, it's Rusty. When you said it, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. I thought that was one of like the really like one of the coolest flash forward scenes, I think, because
oh my god,
it gave us so much detail as well. Like the Bluey flash forward scene in camping, it's just like her a bit older and she's reading like one of the Penguin books, which is cute. Yeah. And then the Daddy Dropper flash forward scene with Bingo and Leela at the end, like obviously we see that Bingo goes to university and graduates. Like that's kind of like the only extra little detail we have there. But this one gave so much. Like it shows the Gaba in the background, which is the Wollongabba cricket grounds in Brisbane. And the uniform he's wearing is the test match uniform. So like that shows us again that he's like elite Australian player basically for cricket. He's walking it by himself. So that means that he's not the first two batters. He's like somewhere in the middle. So it's most likely his first game at this test match. So like it was just like all these like extra details in this one little like flash forward scene of us like being able to pinpoint exactly where he is in his career and where he is like physically. Like it was really, really cool.
And I have the actual, you mentioned it was in the Gaba Stadium, and I have like a kind of I try to be clever with the side-by-side comparison, but if you pull up the thing, we can kind of see the Gaba Stadium compared to how it actually looks in real life in just a moment here. And it's pretty faithful. It has the awning and everything.
Yeah,
and
like the lights up at the top there.
Yeah, it looks really good. They always do an excellent job with the real life locations and stuff like that.
Someone just asked, do we think that they're all still friends when they're older? I would like to think so.
Yeah.
I would like to think that they are.
It's hard to talk about the future of Jack and Rusty without like going into some people's opinions that can be controversial. But if anything at the end, I would love them to be like friends, like how Pat and Bandit are, like neighbors or something, like super cool. If we don't get the wishes of some other people, which if you know what I'm talking about, you don't talk about.
Yeah. I think that's Bluey ships, man. I mean, it's a whole other discussion for a whole other day.
Yeah,
like,
it's a hard topic.
Yeah, it is a hard topic. But yeah, funnily enough, like I literally just did a video about like Winton's dad and the Terrier's mom. But like that's fine, like because they're adults and shipping them is like it's already a whole in-universe thing. But but I do love again that like this flash forward scene is just so cool. And like we are getting more flash forward scenes obviously in the future with like the last 3 episodes.
Yeah, it's so funny. Oh, sorry, were you gonna comment about the sign thing?
Yeah, I just saw a few people asking about like being like, do we know what Bluey's future is? Yeah, we do. Sort of. And it's like,
you can check out our last Bluey podcast about that.
Yeah, we went all into all the Bluey leaks and everything like that. But yeah, those 3 episodes, we still don't know when they're coming out yet. I'm assuming we'll get an announcement about the sign sometime soon. I think Australia might be waiting, or Ludo Studios might be waiting until after Australia Day, maybe, to make the announcement, just because Australia Day is a very controversial day in Australia. And so there's a lot of talk about it in like the news and everything like that now. So it kind of would get drowned out a little bit. So I think they might wait until after the 26th to make an announcement. So just to not get like mixed in with that kind of the issues going on with that day. But yeah.
Of course. And you kind of already like mentioned this, but you mentioned how there's these awesome flash forward scenes in Bluey, and it's funny because it seems like every single season has at least like one Bluey one significant Bluey flash forward. So we had camping for season 1, a daddy drop off for season 2, which is a graduation scene for Bingo, and then finally we have cricket here. And I really love how it kind of ties everything back together, in my opinion, because of his love for the sport as a child. And what Bandit says in the beginning, he's like, there's a lot more to cricket than just that. And for Rusty, it does mean a lot more than just hitting a ball around the park. It's like sentimental for him. The sports connects him to his like whole family. He overcomes challenges motivated by either his father, mother, brother, or even some assistance with Jack with his bumpy home field advantage. And during the last moment, we see his older self seeing his younger self and like fist bumping. And I love the symbolization of that. I always thought of it as him like remembering everything he's gone through, his younger self that has led him into this moment. It's beautiful. I love it so much.
Yeah. Just such a great episode, man. Such a great episode. So good. Okay, so in that case then, let's go on to our last little bit. So, favorite Easter eggs. I'm going to bring up on here one of my favorites, not surprisingly, of course, is the long dog. I didn't realize people have been finding a lot more other long dogs in these 10 episodes. So, like, each episode has maybe like 2 or 3, which makes me think like there's got to be more in cricket because there was just this one. And same in Dragon, there was only one. So I'm like Cubby had 3 long dogs in it. Relax ended up having 2. Stickbird had 2. So now I'm just like, maybe there's more. So I'm going to show you guys on the screen now. So you can see such a very blurred out. But he's holding a cricket bat in his mouth.
Oh my God, I never saw that.
Yeah, so that's what he's got in his mouth. It's like a little cricket bat. If I had a better HD version of it, I could show it better. But like you can just see like the right outline of it and everything like that. So I think that's so cool.
That was really cool.
That was maybe one of my favorite Easter eggs. Cheeky dogs, let us know in the comment section as well what some of your favorite Easter eggs were from this episode. But Pugly, what was one of your favorites?
Okay, so one of my favorites is, I mentioned already how like much his family revolves around like this military aspect and like how much Rusty's dad means to him. And in the background, we actually see Rusty's dads have like a helicopter behind him, and Rusty seems to really love helicopters. Like he plays helicopters literally in the episode Helicopters with Jack, and he says like, we need to call for a dust off in like the episode Army. And I have right, isn't that cool? And I have like a video right here. We can see a picture, a drawing of a helicopter on his desk in his room, and we already know how much helicopters mean to him. And maybe his father. I've always speculated maybe his father flies the helicopters. I've had talks with some people who know more about military stuff, and they said like, I don't think so. But it's like, I don't know.
It's the uniform doesn't match up properly, which is the issue. But then this is the thing, though. I hadn't even made that connection with the dust off part. Like I had made the connection with the desk and like the helicopter in the background, and then I was trying to think, I'm like, how, like, maybe they're just like adding that in. But yeah, you're totally right. The dust off, which is in like 2 episodes. It's in Army and it's also in the episode Helicopter. Is it Helicopter? Typewriter.
It's Helicopter. A Typewriter, they don't have Rusty and Jack.
No, that's right. No, Typewriter's a different. Yeah. In the actual episode Helicopter, then he also is back in there asking for like a pickup and things like that.
Yeah, and I remember trying to like speculate, being like, oh my God, their family's so caring. Like, what if like he like flies the helicopters to do like care package stuffs and like gets people because like they're caring, and he like is the support on the team or something. I don't know. That was like a whole thing. But you know what's a really nice other Easter egg that I'm gonna be pulling up is we mentioned the real life location of the Gaba, but we also have Witatango. Is that how you pronounce it?
Watonga.
yeah, the park itself is Watonga Park, as you can see here, and we can see a side by side as well, Gaba on the eagle eye view of that, as well as what the actual field Rusty is on, as you can see here. This was provided by Real Life Blue locations. I'll be showing on the screen here in just a bit, but they have all these different awesome locations of side by side Real Life Blue locations. But I just love every single time they include it. They include it like every episode, but it's always special when they do it.
Yeah. Some people here are sort of asking as well. So we've got, okay, I guess we can sort of go into the Q&A then, because everyone's getting very excited about that. So we've got some
yeah, I saw that. It's very, I love that. That feels very special.
Okay, so someone asked, does Rusty's mum work? I think she does now. That's my theory as to why, like, because usually she's the one that picks Rusty up from school that we've seen so far. So I figured that, like, the reason why she can't pick him up from school is because she's working now, possibly. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, like, because there was like, that, and what was it? I don't remember the time period, but, like, Bandit was like, oh my gosh, when blah, blah, blah wasn't able to pick him up, he'd get a lift by Jack's family. And that happened for a long time, yeah. Yeah, so I feel like that, there's that, and also the fact that, like, in Australia, you really can't live off one income anymore. Like, it's just impossible. Like, with 3 children, like, even if your dad's in the army, it's not enough. Like, you need dual income. So I feel like, I think she works. Someone, does Digger have a job in high school? In Australia, we can start working from when we're 13 years old and 9 months in Queensland. So, like, when I was 14, I started working at Target. So, I mean, Digger could have a job.
That's incredible. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. For the US audience, we know that it's usually 16, and that's even hard. It's usually 17 or at most 18.
Yeah. We kind of answered this a little before. Was Rusty's dad's position in the army? We don't really know. Like, even based off his uniforms, like, he's just wearing, like, the general combat uniform, and then when he picks Rusty up in army, he's wearing the beret, which could be from, like, a couple of different places, but they've actually gotten rid of the beret now, so we don't really know what his dad does in the army. But obviously, war exists in Bluey, so that's a bit sad. just
my god,
and sad.
And isn't there, like, enough context clues that, like, states that, like, Rusty's dad's position in, like, Afghanistan or something?
Yeah, so I made a video. One of my top 5 theories is talking about, like, if he's either in Iraq or Afghanistan. And I think it's most likely he's in Afghanistan, I think.
Okay.
But yeah. But someone who Wolf has here, did you notice how in the background of the scene with the teens, there was the worker dog from TV Shop?
I did, yeah. I did see that. Oh my gosh, I wonder if I don't have it pulled up, but I can try to start pulling it up right now.
Yeah.
It's going to be really blurry.
Maybe. Sometimes Rusty would play with his older brother.
Oh, you can see it just in the background there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Wolf, good spot.
If we move on to other questions while I'm pulling this up, so we can answer that question a little bit better. But yeah, that is really cool detail that I noticed, but I never really thought about how it's actually the team.
Yeah.
So when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, he is. But, like, I act like I knew that already. But
yeah. Some fun little side questions. Favorite candy? Mine's Maltesers from Australia, and I'm so upset that you can't buy them here in America. Makes me devastated. Maltesers are my favorite.
Mine is Three Musketeers, and that's because of the first time I went to summer camp, someone shared candy with me, and it was Three Musketeers, so it's sentimental for me. I'm a very sentimental type of guy.
So then someone just had a good question here. So PB&J Sandwich asked, how about a winter episode? So I don't know how they do it, to be honest, because, like, winter in Australia doesn't look that much different from the other seasons, to be honest. Like, especially in Brisbane, like, the only difference is maybe it's, like, a little bit more windy, but otherwise, like, the days look the exact same. Like, it's still sunny outside all the time. We don't have snow or anything like that. So if you wanted to see, like, a snow-based episode, it would have to be, like, them going on a trip to the Blue Mountains, basically. So surprise, surprise. Or, like, if they did a trip over to New Zealand, maybe, then we could see snow that way. But I think, yeah, because snow obviously isn't just a really big part of Australian life or culture, it would be rare to see an episode like that. But, like, maybe they could do one about, like, how they really want snow, and that could be really cute, because it is something that, like, all of us see growing up. We're like, oh, what is this magical white stuff that we've never seen before? So, like, they could do, like, maybe a fun, like, make-believe game episode about, like, it pretending it was winter. That could be really cute.
That would be amazing. I would love that a lot. And I'm gonna actually share my screen here. It's a very bad quick edit I just wanted to pull together of that TV Shops dog that we were talking about. Hold on, let me see if I can't just show my paint screen. Can you guys see this? Hold on,
look at you. Hey, it is. Good spot,
there
guys.
You go. So
That's so cool.
It's pretty cool. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen just because it's really crappy and it makes me embarrassed. But yeah.
Someone asked, do we think there will be more episodes of Bingo and Leela?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Their friendship is pretty solidified. Ever since like Slide. Well, I guess like technically we see them together in the episode Past the Parcel. We see them at the same birthday parties, I think twice.
Yeah. So I know Joe Brum said that he loves the voice actor for Leela. Like he really loves her voice and wanted to use her more. And that's why he wanted to do like a whole episode dedicated to them because he really loves how unique her voice sounds. So yeah, I feel like they would.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, definitely. I mean, we have the episode like Slide and like they're hanging out. I think it'd be a shame if this was the last time we saw them together in their friendship. I mean, it's like we didn't see Rusty and Jack together. I mean, they're basically inseparable as much as those two.
Yeah. Oakley Edits asked, do we think that they would make a bingo show? No. Because Bluey's already technically about them all. Like, let's be honest.
I would kind of hate it. Like, you know, like when they made SpongeBob and then they made the Patrick Star show. Like,
no, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I'm not watching the Patrick Star show. I want to watch SpongeBob. I want to see Patrick. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's unnecessary. Like you said, Bluey's for everyone already. So why make a spin-off on it?
So Sadie asked, do you think that there'll be more flash forward scenes like in Surprise, but with other characters? So without ruining anything for anyone who hasn't seen our last podcast about all the leaks, I don't know. Because we both don't know anything about the episode design, except for like the tiny little clips and Joe Brum talking about that it's going to be about a wedding, and we've all basically assumed it's going to be Frisky and Rads because, again, the leaks show that the girls are all dressed up as like flower girls, like Socks, Muffin, and Bingo. So it has to be someone, you know, related to them both. So it's obviously Rad and Frisky. Right. That's all we know.
And like expanding on that, I mean, I guess at the end of the sign, it'd be really cool if we got like a flash forward, like maybe just like 8 months being like, oh my gosh, when are you due? Or it's like oh my
like Frisky having the baby. Like,
yeah,
I would
or even
love
just
that.
showing the stomach of some kind, or even just like being like her like cradling like a baby in the actual hospital bed, like after she gave, you know, birth, but we don't actually see what the baby looks like. I think it'd be really cool if we like didn't like actually see, or maybe just the back of the head. I don't know. Like,
yeah, just
any,
like this
any
like
small
very
thing. Like, just to be like, oh, you have to wait till another episode to see it. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's something they do sometimes.
Yeah. I feel like, I wonder if they, like, I know they're meant to be doing a simultaneous release between like Australia and the rest of the world. So Disney will have it up the same time Australia does. So, which means Disney has it. But like, Disney just leaks stuff so much all the time. And like, BBC must just be on their case so hard. Like, don't you dare put this 28-minute episode up. Like, even in India where you released everything else, don't even think about it. Like,
if they did, the world would explode. Like, basically, like every social media would be like, what's happening?
Yeah. Someone's like, imagine a mixed breed. Yeah, that's the whole thing is like, we're assuming that they're going to have a baby and it will be the first technical mixed breed child that we've seen in Bluey. Like Dougie is a mixed breed, but his mom is also a mixed breed, so again it doesn't really count.
Right.
But,
yeah.
And so I think that'd be really
another
good.
Mixed breed that we see, but spoilers.
Yeah. That's true. What does the long dog mean? It was a joke between the animators initially. They were like hiding it for each other to find, and then it just became like this whole big thing. So that's why from season 2 onwards, it's in every single episode. But season 1, there's a couple episodes without it.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Is there really a couple episodes without it? That's amazing. I thought every single episode had one.
Yeah, no, the beach doesn't have it. The pool doesn't have it. What are some of the other ones? Shops doesn't have it. Neither does there's another one. But Shops was the one where I was like, it has to be in here, but like it's all foliage. And like I was going like brain numb trying to find it. I'm like, it's not here. There's nothing.
That's
here.
hard.
Yeah. But otherwise, guys, we are almost at the 1 hour mark. Thank you all so much for coming to join us. I Absolutely loved it. I really, really appreciated like everyone coming, all the comments and everything like that.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, I had a blast. I always have so much fun talking about Bluey, but being able to talk about cricket, which is my favorite episode, for reasons that you guys probably already know. But like, oh my gosh, I just had a blast just talking about this. Like, there were so many notes I didn't get to talk about just because there's so much to talk about that I want to talk about. But I'm happy with the notes that I got to talk about. I got to say at least.
Yeah. We might do like maybe some like watch alongs again at some stage. Obviously
Yeah.
we'll have another podcast out next month. We'll put up a bit of a poll for you guys on both of our channels as to like which episode you'd like us to do a deep dive into and to have a chat about. But as always, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Aussie Girl Margie, and all my socials, TikTok and Instagram. I will be doing a lot more on TikTok as of this year as well, just because it's another platform that I've started to use more and get more of a following on. So I will have a lot more like short videos over there. So it's all at Aussie Girl Margie. But for Pugly,
yeah, you can mostly find me on Pugly and the Ugly Pugly, as you see there. If you go on my videos, you can actually find my Bluey Twitter that is my actual main Twitter now. It's the Healer's Fridge. So you can find me all there. You can find the art that I do, the funny posts that I make. Just a lot of funny stuff mostly.
all the good things. But yeah, otherwise, everyone, thank you again so much. Yeah, really appreciate it. And we will see you guys all in another video. I will have my cubby video out soon, maybe today or if not tomorrow. Pugly, what's your next video?
You know what? I kind of have a couple different videos I'm juggling. I don't really know. Like, it's like almost my 1-year anniversary of being a Bluey content creator, so I might make something special for just that I haven't told anyone besides one of my friends. So
Yeah.
I don't have like quite saying like, I look out for something on my next video, but it'll be good, whatever it is, I'm sure.
Oh, that's exciting. All right, cheeky dogs. In that case, we will see you all later. Thank you so much for coming by and see you next time. Bye.
Bye.